Welcome back to Miss Eddie's Math Movies, where it's cute to be a square. Today's lesson is 11.6, Properties of Chords. By the end of the lesson, you'll be able to use the properties of chords in a circle. Notice here we have two chords intersecting, and they're creating a bunch of angles here. These angles are inside the circle. Notice this vertex is not in the center, it's not on, it's in. So we have a rule for angles that are inside the circle. If you look, angle 1 is creating this arc. This is the intercepted arc. But this over here is also angle 1 because they're vertical. So angle 1 is also creating this arc. So which arc do we use? We're going to use both. We're going to take the average. It's kind of the word we're going to focus on here. So we're going to average the two arcs together. So remember, so it's in angle creates two arcs. So you add one arc to the second arc and you divide by 2. That's how you average. So angle 1, you would want to use arc AB and arc DC. But for angle 2, look what angle 2 is opening up to this arc here. So you'd have to average AD, and angle 2 is also over here, arc BC. So you take the sum and then you divide by 2. That's how you average. So look here, angle X is opening up to this arc right here. But this is also angle X because it's vertical. So angle X also creates this arc. So our formula says any angle that's in the circle, in angle, so that's X, equals add the arcs together and divide by 2. Make sure when you put this in your calculator that you press enter at the end before you divide by 2. 174 plus 106, enter, divide by 2. 140 degrees is what X is. We average together, and that makes sense. 140 is in between these two. If I got a bigger answer than 174, that doesn't make sense because it has to be in between. Once again, we have an in angle. Look at this angle. The angle is opening up to this arc, and this vertical angle is opening up to this arc. So we're going to average the two arcs. So our formula is in angle. So notice, we have the angle now. So it's 80 equals, then we add the arcs together. One arc is X, one arc is 60. Divide by 2. So we average the arcs. Notice the arcs are X and 60. This is a little bit different than what we've done. You can think of it like a proportion if you want. Put that over 1. 80 times 2 is 120. 1 times X plus 60 is just X plus 60. Subtract 60 from each and you get 100. Does that make sense? If this is 100 degrees, is 80 the average of 160? Well, yeah, 80 is perfectly in between. It's 20 away here and 20 away here. This answer makes sense. All right, you're going to do these now. So use the equation. This is like example 1. This is like example 1. And this, notice, we're missing the arc now. This is like example 2. So we've worked a lot with angles. Now we're going to kind of switch gears, and the picture looks the same, but we're going to be talking about the lengths of the segments. So if two chords intersect inside a circle, then the product of the lengths of the segments of one chord is equal to the product. Remember, product means multiply of the lengths of the segments of the other chord. Okay, so what is this talking about? We're not talking about degrees anymore. We're talking about how long these chords are. So this rule says you can multiply the pieces of the chord together, and it's equal to multiplying the pieces of this chord together. So we're going to get some colors to kind of show this. So let's say you've got this maroon chord and you have this blue chord. When you multiply the pieces of the maroon chord together, EA and EB, it's the same thing as multiplying the pieces of the blue chord, CE times ED. So you can multiply the pieces and set them equal to each other. Let's see if we can apply that. First, the follow-up says, what is the hypothesis for these theorems? Well, the hypothesis are the words that come after the if. So let's look here. If two chords intersect inside a circle. If two chords intersect inside a circle. So the hypothesis is two chords intersect inside a circle. So we've got some rules. We've got rules for angles and we've got rules for lengths. So if you look here, we're talking about lengths. We're not talking about angles. There's no degree signs. So let's say we'll have the blue chord and we'll have the maroon chord. Our rule said you can multiply the pieces together and set them equal. So the pieces of the maroon chord are Q, R, and R piece. We're going to multiply those together. 9 times X. Then we're going to multiply the pieces of the blue chord together. 3 times 6. So 9 times X is 9X. 3 times 6 is 18. So we're going to divide both sides by 9. Keep this color coding going. We're left with X equals 2. So that's how you do it. You multiply those pieces together. Set them equal to each other. I want you to do this now. Notice we've moved on from angles. This is just like example 3. This is M cubed, signing out.